on the track.
Okay, so we're here, Run Talk episode 2, and we've been doing the running in this beautiful setting, if not a little gloomy, and now, Glenn, you'll be surprised to hear we're doing the talking.
Yeah.
And I would really just like to start off with a simple question. Introduce yourself and tell us about this setting that we're running in today and why it's meaningful to you.
Yeah, so as you said, I'm Glenn. I've been running on and off, I'd probably say now, for about 13 years. But I'm a South London boy, born and bred. But Greenwich, as well as being a Charlton fan, unfortunately, Greenwich kind of started my running. It's the starting line of the London Marathon, and you know, the London Marathon, when I ran that in 2013, was the first time I really dedicated myself to running. I was running in memory of my mum for Samaritans at that point, so I really, I really went into it. I really focused on running. Then my relationship probably has been a bit fractured, but yeah, it means a lot to me. I come here most weekends to run a 10k, and yeah, despite the gloominess, there's always something to look at. There's always something to see. Yeah.
When I was first talking about Run Riot, he said you've got to talk to Glenn. He's a running geek, I think is how he described you. And actually, kind of how I think of you is a proper runner, and that you've done ultras. You're part of a run club. Two things that are not true for me. But how would you describe yourself in terms of a runner? What kind of runner are you?
I'd probably say I was average. I think running to me really has changed. I mentioned London Marathon 2013 was when I got into running, but ultimately I stopped after that. I got injured, fell out of love with it, and then it was COVID that got me back in when we were allowed out for that half an hour a day.
For so many people, actually, yeah,
and then COVID, and then we went back to work, and a few days in the office and things like that, and saw a message on LinkedIn about meeting on London Bridge, and that kind of started my love for community running. What I've found, and it's been a journey probably since I got back into running from 2000 and whatever it was when we were allowed back, 22 type thing, is that I enjoy every element kind of it, whether I'm competing with myself, whether I'm going out with a group of people, or whether I just need to get out and create some headspace, which is the biggest thing for me, I think.
We want to be a brand for people who run, not just runners.
Yeah.
And that sounds kind of weird, doesn't it? People who run are runners, but I think there's a lot of people in the world who have that relationship with running. They might not be on Strava, they might not be racing that often, but they do get out and they do get something out of it. And that kind of, we talk about running as release, but I think you talked about running as your therapy.
Yeah.
And I think that's something that feels universal to people. I wanted to see if you could kind of explore that a little bit more, that idea of running as therapy.
Yeah, I think therapy is something that's probably been a taboo for a lot of people, especially men, if I'm being honest. And I went through, some personal therapy, if you like, offline therapy, the classic sitting in a room talking to a therapist, which I found really useful, to unpack a lot of stuff that was going on in my life and had happened in my life. But what that discovered through those conversations was that running was kind of better for me to sort out my brain, to sort out my thoughts, to create that clarity, and I see it as a release. I think we discussed before we started shooting and things, is that it's as good to think about things with running, but also to not think about things. And I don't go into any run saying, oh, do you know what, this is my therapy session, I really want to unpack this week that I've had, but it just kind of happens, and I found it really useful, and I find it even more noticeable if I don't run. If I don't run, it's noticeable. It's probably more noticeable for my family and my kids if I'm in a bad mood as well.
I put it in a kind of weird way, and this is quite a negative framing, but it's kind of an addiction. Do you know what I mean? As if I don't run, I start to feel that little bit more tense, anxious, whatever. Not positive feelings. Do you know what I mean? And I need the running. I need the running. but it's a good thing to be addicted to. It's
so.
better than crack. You know?
What on earth would inspire you to do an ultra?
I wish I knew. Yeah, I did my first ultra, Race to the King, with Run Social as a group, and it was a case of just pushing myself. It's like, can I do this? And I think like most things in life, like the journey of getting to do that was better than the destination. But I loved it. Like it was a trail. Went through lots of emotions, different terrain. I think the variety was really good. It was just that was a personal challenge. I needed to tick it. The growth of community running, and
exploded, hasn't it?
It has. Yeah. There's maybe too much, if anything. But what I will say is there's groups for everyone, depending on needs. You mentioned Run Social, and I've been an ambassador of Run Social now for coming up to 3 years, and the inclusivity is what kind of really stands out for me. Like for me as a 40-something-year-old bloke with mates and everything, I was probably in a position in life where I didn't think I needed new friends or kind of new hobbies and stuff like that, and kind of the running community and Run Social in particular has offered that to me.
I noticed even on our run earlier, you were sort of pointing out people you run with. That's a nice feeling, isn't it?
Yeah, spotted Lois, who kind of is a key member of Run Social. Actually, again, talking to that inclusivity.
Run Social. Okay,
so it doesn't matter with abilities. I work in marketing, but I think that kind of that just inclusivity. Everyone's got one thing in common, and. Do you know what? I think the world has changed. I'm not speaking on behalf of the younger generation or anything, but people don't really want as much to go out and have a load of drink after work and things. They want to go out and meet people and do something that doesn't revolve around alcohol, that's not overly expensive and everything. And I think the running communities and running clubs up and down the country really offer that.
And obviously we were saying this earlier, you got Run, you got Social in there. I think sort of both sides of that equation are as equally important, I suppose.
100%. Our mantra is like, if you can't have a conversation when you're running with Run Social, is like, we're going too fast. The focus is on the social element as much as anything, because there's a need for it. There is a gap, and you know what? If you want to go out and kind of do a time trial and things, that's cool. We might do it as a group at some point, but there's also other clubs there, and I think that variety just allows people whatever they want to do, running ability, and you could be part of loads of clubs if you want. That's fine.
You talked about running as therapy. Could we kind of delve into that a little bit more and kind of what that means to you and how that started?
Yeah, I think going back, like that first sign up for London Marathon in 2013, the Samaritans, is I probably done that as a way of kind of addressing the challenges that I'd experienced with my mum. My mum pretty much passed away because of alcoholism, and she reached out to the Samaritans. It didn't happen for her, and that's cool, but I realised that the Samaritans really does like help a lot of people. And then I ran for her, obviously, in the memory, but that was the only reason I was doing it. And probably at that time, back then, is that I didn't realise the impact that it was having on me, running, and maybe just running in memory of my mum didn't help me deal with potentially the issues that were underlying for me. So over that period of time, life got in the way. Then after that period, I got married, had kids, running and everything. That was really low down. I didn't even think about it until COVID. But then, COVID was a challenging time mentally for a lot of people as well. So it made me kind of re-explore it and get down into the therapy and, not, take away that bravado of being a bloke and just going out there and, sitting on the couch and everything. And then that moment of realisation that kind of running just helps with my mental health. I'd like to think it makes me, a better dad, a better wife, a better husband, and a better friend. And that's a journey I've been on. And sometimes that's really hard to explain to people who maybe don't run, including my wife. To be honest, like, why are you running so much? Like, well, it helps me, but
and therefore helps you.
Yeah, exactly, exactly. And I think the more conversations, I think it's really important to me. I feel like as a father, as much as anything, and as a friend, is to normalise kind of the therapy elements of it.
It's an everyday thing that affects everyone. It's something we should all be able to talk about.
And it happens in communities, in the community running as well. And I've really noticed that trend is people are being they're being a lot more kind of open about why they run and things, and mental health is very much high up there. Probably on equal about getting fit or getting PBs. Yeah, people talk about it as just
for me certainly is that it's 50-50 for sure. I mean, what a great thing to come out of something so terrible as well. So you built not just a relationship with running yourself, but with other people.
100%.
And I think that's something to be proud of. Really,
I'm very grateful. Very grateful.
So, Glenn, here's your quick fire round. Running with people or by yourself?
How about starting by myself and then ending up with people?
Good answer. Good answer. Kilometres or miles?
Kilometres.
Again, any reason why?
Just the default setting on whatever app I'm using.
Right. And Garmin or Apple?
Garmin.
Right. Morning or evening runs?
Morning runs, sets the day up well.
Yeah. And what about running at any time of the day? How does that make you feel?
I will run. Like if I'm training for something and I need to do training, I'll get it done.
You'll get it done. Nice. Rain or heat?
100% rain.
Glenn, why? Ollie's the same. I don't understand the rain.
I feel like it's easier to control kind of what you're wearing and everything.
It's easier to control what you're wearing.
Yeah, well you can only take off so many clothes, can't you? In the heat, and but you can put on layers and take off layers in the rain.
Good answer. Okay, 5K or a marathon?
Oh, 5K, I think.
5K. Go ask. What's your 5K PB?
20-40, something like that.
Not bad. Yeah. Good going. Music or no music?
I'm a no music person. I like to be left with my own thoughts. Yeah.
Yeah, maybe that's why I like music. I don't like my own thoughts. Do you ever run with music though?
No, not really. I think if I was to have something in my ears, it would be like just a radio station or a podcast. But I'm not really listening to it and taking it in because my own thoughts will inevitably overtake that as well.
Well, maybe you can listen to this when you go for a run. Yeah,
well, of course.
Oh, maybe not. Road or trail?
Oh, that's a tough one as well. I think my knees would say trail because the roads have taken it out a bit. But again, why not? Similar to the first question,
depends.
A bit of both. Yeah. Let's go hybrid.
Okay, Strava or no Strava? This one's a killer.
Yeah, I'm a Strava person. It's probably my most used social media app, if you can call it an app now. But you know what? I feel like I know more about where my running friends have been and what they've been doing compared to my actual real friends and family, to be honest, sometimes.
Okay, and if it didn't happen on Strava, it didn't happen?
Obviously.